Hey YouTube, what's up? Cube 3 here, and like I promised in my last video, where we solved the 2x2, I am now going to show you guys how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube, or often referred to as just the Rubik's Cube. This is the classic that everybody knows and may or may not love, because a lot of people are really frustrated with this, and but it's baffled a lot of people for years, and watching this video, you will learn how to solve it. So, I said this in my last video. I taught you guys the notations, and if you haven't seen that last video on me solving the 2x2 where I taught you guys the notations, I'll go ahead and tell you them, give you a brief overview of what they are. So notations are letters that tell you what layer to move in what direction. And you'll see notations in algorithms, which an algorithm is a series of moves. Like just this, that is a series of moves. So here are our notations. If we were to see the letter R, it would mean to move the right side clockwise. So I'll face the right side, so R clockwise. And if you see RI, or some people use an apostrophe instead of an I, but if you were to see RI, then you would move it counterclockwise. So R stands for right side, R is clockwise, RI counterclockwise. So for the left side, you would see the letter L. So L means to move it clockwise, LI means to move it counterclockwise. So now, the top side, you would see the letter U for up. That's what it stands for. So U is clockwise, UI is counterclockwise. So now the bottom side, you would see the letter D for down. So D clockwise, DI counterclockwise. So now the front side, you would see the letter F, which stands for front. So front clockwise, and then FI counterclockwise. And then the back side, we won't be doing anything involving the back side, but I will teach you it anyway, just so you guys know. So I'll face the back side just so you guys can see a better view. But the letter for the back side would be B, which obviously stands for back. So B clockwise, BI counterclockwise. So those are all the notations that you need to know. And we can now learn the algorithms to solve the Rubik's Cube. So go give your cube a scramble if you haven't already, which why would you probably don't have your cube scrambled if you're trying to watch this video and learn, but go ahead and scramble it if it's not already. So now that we have the cube scrambled, we're going to be taking a slightly different approach. There are going to be few more steps than we did with the 2x2, because the 2x2 is smaller and doesn't have as much pieces. So we're going to be learning some new steps. So our first step is to solve the white cross. So we're going to start with the white side, like I said. So we're going to solve the cross, and basically the cross is just getting all the edges matched up. So as you can see, we have an edge here that matches up with the white, but if we look on the other edge's color, it doesn't match up with this. So we want to make it match up with its other color too. So we have this edge matching up with the white, and this edge matching up with its color, in this case red. So now I'll teach you how to put the edges in their correct position. So we're going to take an edge that we want to do, and you can see here's an edge. Do whatever you have to do to get the edge to the bottom layer. As you can see, I have this one here at the bottom layer. So we're going to put the edge under where it needs to go. So this edge needs to go here, so I put it under. And now we're going to, so I'm not going to tell you an algorithm for this, because it is very easy to remember. But if the white is facing the bottom, and when it's under it needs to go, if the white's facing the bottom, all you have to do is move that front side twice, and it brings it up there. But if you have the edge under where it needs to go, and the white side is not on the bottom, the white side is facing you, then in this case I will show you an algorithm. But if the white side's facing you and it's under where it needs to go, do the algorithm DI, LI, F. And now I'm going to show you that one more time because this case might happen. Like, let me see. Let me just do this so you guys, to help you guys out here. So as you can see, I have it under where it needs to go, and the edge that's right here is solved. So if we do this algorithm, it messed up the edge that we put there. So all we have to do is do L to put that edge back where it was. So now just apply those steps to everything. But here's another thing that can happen. If you have an edge not on the top, not on the bottom, so if it's like sandwiched in between here, all you have to do is put it to your right and do RI, DI, R, and it gets it out, and do whatever case you need to do. See, there we go. So now after solving the white cross, once again making sure it matches up with the centers that it is on to, we're going to put in the corners that go right here. So the 4 corners that we need to find are the 4 white corners. So I'm just going to take this corner, for example. So you can see it is the white, red, and green corner. So that corner would go right here because white, red, and green. So now, just like we did with the 2x2, we're going to put the corner underneath the slot where it needs to go and on our right. So if we have it underneath the slot, there are 3 possibilities that can occur. And we're going to be relying on which way the white on the corner is facing. So if you have it under where it needs to go and the white side is facing you, then do the algorithm DI, RI, D, R. And it puts it in its right spot. So now I'll do this corner, which is white, orange, and green. So white, orange, and green, or white, orange, and green. It would go here, put it under where it needs to go. But the white's not facing me. The white is facing to the right. So if the white is facing to the right, do the algorithm RI, DI, R. So now, I'll take this corner to do next, which is white, blue, and orange. So I would go here, because white, blue, and orange. Put that under where it needs to go, and as you can see, the white is not facing me or the right. It's actually on the bottom. So if it's on the bottom, do the algorithm R, D2, and if I didn't tell you guys what the 2 means, it just means to move the layer twice. So R, D2, actually, that's my bad. I did this in the last video too. It's RI, D2, R, then D, RI, DI, R, and it puts it in its right spot. So now, this might happen where the corner is in its place, but it's not rotated correctly. So if this happens, just do any one of the algorithms that I taught you guys, and it'll take the corner out. So now we just place the corner under where it needs to go, and do whatever algorithm we have to, and there you go. So now what we have is the white side solved, with all these blocks matching around it, and also matched up with its center. So we are now done with the white side, so we're going to put it facing the bottom just like we did with the 2x2. Our next step, this edge was already done for us, but we're going to put the edge, the matching edge, in between 2 centers. So these centers are blue and red, so we'd put the blue and red edge here. This was already done for us. And these 2 centers are green and orange, so we would put the green and orange edge right here. So first, we're going to find the edge that we want to put in. So let's say I want to put this edge where it needs to go, the red and green. That would go here. So now we're going to match this edge with whatever center. So as you can see, the edge has 2 colors on it. And the one that's not facing the top, you want to look at that color. As you can see, it's red. So we're going to match that up with the side it needs to. Now, wherever we put the edge that we are going to place, we are going to put that side in front of us. As you can see, we matched it up, and we're going to have that side facing us. If the place where it needs to go is to its right, as you can see, it needs to go here. If it's going to be placed to its right, do this algorithm. U, R, UI, RI, UI, FI, U, F. And it put the edge in its correct position, just like that. So, to our next case, if we have the edge match up with the center, and the spot where it needs to go is to its left, do this algorithm. UI, LI, U, L, U, F, UI, FI. And it puts the edge in its right spot. So now do that with all the other edges. And now I'm going to show you one more case real quick. So if this happens where the edge is where it needs to go, as you can see, red, green, but the edge is flipped, then you're going to do any one of the algorithms to get the edge out of that place. And now we're going to do whatever algorithm we need to get the edge into the place correctly. And there we go. So after we have solved those edges, we're now going to be focusing on this last layer, which is going to take a few steps. So now the next step is to solve the yellow cross. Remember how we solved the white cross before, which is matching all the edges with the center? Now we're going to do that with the white side. Make sure all the white or the yellow edges are facing up. So there will be a few case scenarios where this could happen. Our first one is when the yellow edge, or there are no yellow edges facing up, as you can see. Now this entire thing is going to be revolving around one algorithm. You just need to know how to position the edges with which ones are flipped. So if we have no edges flipped, we're actually going to do this algorithm no matter what, but the algorithm is F, R, U, RI, UI, FI. So do that algorithm. So if you have no edges flipped, just do that algorithm, and you will get this case where there are two edges flipped correctly. So we're going to, whatever side we're facing, just pick a side to face, and then turn the layer so that the edges are like this. So it's a backwards L at the top left corner. So if you have this case, make sure you position it there, and then do the algorithm, which I said before is F, R, U, RI, UI, F. So now it brings us to our next step, which is the line. So whatever side we're facing, you're going to want to have the line horizontal and do that algorithm again. And there we go. So just keep doing that algorithm, making sure the edges are positioned correctly, and you will get to the yellow cross. So now our next step is to get match all these edges which the color that it needs to go. As you can see, this doesn't match with this center. This doesn't match with this center. They need to look like this. So to do that, just pick an edge and put it in its right spot. I'm just going to pick the red edge. As you can see, match it with the red center and make sure it's facing you. Now do the algorithm R, U, RI, U, R, U2, RI. And now as you can see, I've got all the edges matching their center now. But you might have to do that more than one time. So like, I have the edge facing me, and I do the algorithm. It did not fix the edges, as you can see. So I'm gonna have to do it again. And there we go. So this problem might occur when you have the edge that you want to do facing you, and you do the algorithm, and it fixes only two edges. You only have two edges in the correct spot, as you can see, but the other two are not. So in this case, you're gonna, whatever side you were just facing, you're gonna want to put that to your right, and now you have an incorrect edge facing you, and then do the algorithm there. And then when you do that, you're just going to do a U, and now all the edges are in the correct spot. Now our next step is to position the corners in the correct spot, just like we did with the 2x2. So I have, let me position one in the right spot so you know what I'm talking about. As you can see, this corner is in the right spot. See, blue, red, yellow, blue, red, yellow. It's in the right spot, but it's just not twisted. It's just not rotated. So, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So like the step before, or not the step before, like the yellow cross step, we're going to be basing this entire step off of one algorithm that we may or may not have to use multiple times. So our first case is when no edges are in the correct spot. As you can see, none of the colors match up, none of them are even twisted. It doesn't matter if it's twisted, like I said before, but as you can see, none of them are in the right spot. And so just pick any side. If this happens, pick any side. Make sure the yellow is still facing up, and then do the algorithm U, R, UI, LI, U, RI, UI, L. And now one edge or one corner will be placed in its correct spot. As you can see, this one is in its correct spot. It is just a coincidence that it is twisted to match with the other colors as well. But now once we have a corner in a correct spot, and if there already was a corner in its correct spot, just take that corner and put it at your top right. And now do the algorithm again. And then that'll rotate all these corners, except for this one, since we had it at the top right. So as you can see, I did the algorithm, and the other corners are not in the right spot. And if that happens, just do the algorithm again. So you might have to do the algorithm more than once. So they're all in the correct spots now. See, orange, blue, yellow, orange, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow. So now, our final step is to twist the corners so the yellow is facing up to match with the centers. So whatever corner we are going to twist, we're going to put that at our top right, and we're going to do this algorithm. RI, DI, RD, RI, DI, RD. And as you can see, it twisted the corner, but it also messed up the white side, but don't worry about that. Don't turn the cube either. So to do our next corner, instead of turning the cube and doing the algorithm, we're just going to move the top layer until we get to the next corner we want to rotate. So do that algorithm. And as you can see, this might happen where it doesn't rotate the corner. And if that happens, just do it again. And there you go. Then do that, you just have to do that with all the corners. And then after that's done, you are finished. All you have to do is fix the last layer. As you can see, it's as easy as matching up the colors. And you have solved the 3x3 Rubik's Cube.